Hello guys. Hello guys, welcome to this live stream. Tried initially in the bigger aircraft, the JU87, and failed miserably. Really it seems that it's only good for, and it does exceptionally well, but high altitude, straight and level. So I took a Bf110 this time. It's nice and fast, it can climb well, came in at a pretty high speed as well. The target was mostly destroyed. I finished off 3 buildings, got 15 points, successfully landed. I also reconnoitred the next target, which is that one. So I flew down from here down to here, and I attacked this one. Someone said there's only one bunker left. Before I left and went north again, I checked out this one. I flew over this town and looked east, and I could see this one. Then I flew north back to the town. I checked out my tanks here, kept on flying north to about here. Then I realised that both of these airfields were looking different than they should. They looked like they'd been lost. So I diverted away from them, even though I took off from there. And look at that, interestingly, they're back with their status again. I diverted and I went west along this river down to this airbase here, and I landed here. I landed on the longest runway here. So the question is what to do next. I rather think exactly the same thing. One reason why it's good to do this instead of taking a fighter is because there's Germany 21 and there's Soviet Union 8. There's not many Allied aircraft that are going to be in the area, so it's a good idea now to get in some bombing practice. Gonna see if I can go again. I've set the guns longer range, 0.5 kilometre for ground attack, bombs to 2 seconds. Give me some time to get away. Carrying a pretty heavy load, 2 500s and 4 50s. 43% fuel. That did it. That's the only thing I was worried about on the return is, am I going to run out of fuel? Go just a little bit more fuel this time. Can I carry something heavier? I could carry a 1000, but it's locked. I also took armor plates and extra, what does this say? Armored windscreen and pilot's headrest. I took this. Interestingly, this is only really looking like it's for the pilot that sits there. The gunner that sits there, I think he doesn't get anything. The engines get some pretty decent armour sort of on the throat or the belly of the engine here, and maybe something there. Is that the radiator? So maybe the radiator gets something and the engine just here gets some armour. That's very effective in my experience. Alright, so I've got 2 500s and 4 50 kilograms. It took quite a bit of concentration to pull off that mission, especially considering I just failed with the JU87. Let's have a look at this. So I should drop the underbelly stuff first maybe, or I should drop everything all at once. I think you got to drop either the wings first or the belly. The belly's the biggest. I don't know. And look at that, now these airfields here have reverted their status once again. Yes, 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 yes. No, 50 I want here. 50. Alright, so we're just going to basically go 80 degrees. I suppose I should open up the chat. Bear with me and I'll do that. G'day guys, just looking at the chat. G'day Michael, g'day Iopa, g'day Frag. Rogent, what game is it? This is IL-2 Great Battle Series. Butane, what's the minimum frame rate? 82 at the moment, 75, 76, 79, so it's around 80 right now, 80. Artorius, the gunner's there to stop bullets for the pilot. Yeah, that's probably it. rather think I used the shortest runway there, and I really wanted to use the longest one. Had a lot of trouble getting off the ground there. Did it, but only just. Flaps are up, gear is up, the throttle set. I don't need to worry about the propeller RPM and the mixture because they're automatic. What about the radiators? Oil. That can stay at the minimum 25. I might climb a bit. There's not much out here to navigate by. The first big thing we're going to see obviously is the river going northeast. We're going 80 degrees. We're going to hit the tip of that body of water that terminates there with the town there. That's something to note. Main thing here is this huge river here with some forestry and some towns. Just leaving here at the moment, I think. There's that forested river with the towns. 80 degrees. Alright, I'm going to climb just below the cloud base so I've got some altitude that I can dive with once I get to the target. I'm doing over 300. I'm going to climb at about 280, I think. One of the ones that I hit, the target that I hit's now disappeared off the map, and the next one's at 1422, and that just got hit. Enemy plane near 1122.3. Okay, that's north of where I'm going. Alright, I've reacquainted with the position of the fuel gauge right behind the joystick there. That's going to be useful. It's not looking too full. 100 litres and 240 litres. Seems to be automatically cycling through different tanks. So 340 litres, 170 litres per engine. It's enough, but it's not very much. Anyways, that's 50% fuel. Minus whatever I've burnt to climb this far with a full load. These are basically Bf109 engines here. So you got two Bf109 engines to manage. What is that light there, I wonder? Links rect, left, right. Why are those up? Oh, I think I'm suspecting I might have damaged the undercarriage when I lowered it temporarily just then. No vibration or anything though. I don't think there's too much of an issue. Alright, we're almost at the cloud base. Got a river coming up here. I think I know which one it is. Alright, so I'm crossing this river right now. I'm around about here. En route, I guess, to here. I was going to go here, but that target's gone. So I'll go here. That's going to mean I should really just go straight west from now. Straight 90 degrees from now, east. I have been going 80. Enemy plane at 1521. That could be really close to where I am. Down there we've got it positioned. That is my artillery. If there's an enemy plane in this region, it might well be going for that artillery. You can see it's a bit damaged. One of the buildings is blackened out. And there's some on the left hand side of the structures that are blackened out as well. It's been hit lightly. We have two towns here, and of course the big town here with the airfield. So two towns here. If I fly to the second town and then just keep going east, then I'll get to the target and I'll dive on it. Big town with the airfield. Town 1. Town 2. And I can see the position, I think. So I'll fly to town 2 and then I'll go east and I'll dive. Aircraft spotted. What is it? LA5 Spitfire. Has he seen me? I don't think so. I'll shoot him. The 109. Keep my altitude. Get closer. Try for a head-to-head. Where's my target? I think I see the target, so I'll continue with my regular plan. Try and keep that aircraft in sight though. Whoever he is, if he's an enemy, he hasn't seen me. If he gets shot at by the target, then I'll know. He's a bit far away from the target though, and he's going into the clouds. Pretty fast. The target could shoot at me as well. What to do, what to do? Oh, there's the target. So the main goal now is to get back to base without overheating, without running out of fuel, without crashing, without getting lost, without getting shot down. If necessary, I haven't used a single bullet. If necessary, I'll do a dogfight with an enemy. Preferably I spot him first, I shoot him up, and then I just go. Just about to fly over my artillery, I think. Right there, I think. I know, right there, right there. That's my artillery there. That is a magnet for enemies. Got to watch out around that. So we've just passed just south of the artillery. To get to here, I'm going to have to go about 265. I'm going to make it closer to 260. So far so good. The next big thing is the river here. There was an aircraft in 1521 before. It may well have been the one that I spotted up here, and I don't know what it was. And so I'll spot that river, and then there's kind of a road. This is the main thing here, the forested river with the town, and then I'm home free pretty much. Oh, you kidding me? Then I'm home free pretty much, and she crashes. Ah, man. So what? That probably means I don't get the points or anything. Ah, that is annoying. The solution is to move to the northern hemisphere. That's what'd fix it. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. When I look at the ping on YouTubers, the rare YouTubers that stream IL-2 like this, apart from myself, it's all pretty much like 20, 30, that sort of thing. The vast majority of them for me are 200, 300. That's not to say that getting kicked from the server is because of ping. It could be anything. I wonder if I got the points for that though. The big question is what happened to my points. Furthermore, this map finishes in about 35, 45 minutes. Guys, I'm going to pause for 30 seconds and just check my stats and see what effect that getting kicked had on the stats. Hopefully not negative. Back in 30 seconds. Guys, I'm back. It's good news. My experience points are 40 out of 100, and I have at least one of all of the aircraft that I've been flying. I even now have a Bf109F-4, so I imagine if I landed I would have increased my experience points, because I think I would have got 40 points for the first Bf110 mission that I succeeded in, and then if I'd managed to land in that second 110 mission, it would have gone up to like 80 points or something. I think it would have gone up to 80 out of 140 or 80 out of 200 instead of the current 40 out of 100. Anyways, let's go again, this time in a fighter. We got an airfield here. I'll probably take off from this one. What about this one though? We keep losing these airfields though. I'll take off from this one. F4. Full fuel. Guns to 300. Remove the headrest. That's about it. Do I want to carry a bomb and hit that target again? I might as well. I might as well go back in a 110. But no, I'm going to fly fighters. I never seem to get my points registered for bombing with the fighter. It's a bit of a hassle. What I could do then is I could take cannon. No, I'll take the... No. I could take... You can't take 2 extra 20mm cannons, only the 2 extra 15s. That'll slow me down a bit. What about these? 4 of them. I'll take this one. Just reduce the fuel a bit. I reduced the fuel heaps actually. 60%. I'll just go and then come back. Yeah, 2 second delay. Go 1 second delay because I'm fast. And let's go for something like that. say. Hard to say. It looks like that potentially the artillery is shooting at nothing. I think there might be some kind of an error that happens like that sometimes, but again, it's hard to say because it's so hard to spot aircraft at the best of times that it's also possible that they're shooting at a plane, but I can't see it. So, yeah. About ready to head on my way and go east, just sort of sussing this out a bit. We're almost at 2,000 meters. This is a plane that can go high. The higher you go, the safer you are. I'll try and get to 3,000 in a cruise climb. Plane in 1521, that's very close to where we are. That is 70 degrees from here. And in fact, I have to be going about 60 right now. Yeah, the AAA artillery might actually have been shooting at something that managed to escape. Pretty safe in this aircraft because it's such a capable aircraft, even though I'm still carrying the bomb. I never dropped it. Some people, as soon as they see action, they drop and then they go and fight. If I did that, sure, I could have been ready to fight, but there was nothing to fight. Going 46. Alright, so it looks like the other target's gone as well. We took off from here. We're going about to the artillery. Now that one's gone. There's an enemy aircraft in 1521. The next target, the closest next target is the factory or the tanks. Miles away, and I don't have enough fuel. Took off with 60% fuel. Actually, 60 is okay. It's a bit of a stretch to go out to here. That's miles away. I could fly up to the tanks and then land here. That's probably the best idea. I'll keep going in this direction for a bit and then I'll go straight north at the border. And I'm in a roughly 1520, 1521. It's supposed to be a fighter spotted around here somewhere. There's an airfield. Probably the airfield that I'm seeing. Again, took off from here. I should go north now. There's 2,650 metres heading north. Got a town directly beneath us. What town could it be? That one, I recognise that one. I think it's this one. But we're in the right spot. It's just that there's no targets. We've been so efficient, we've destroyed them all. I hit both of those targets that have now been destroyed, so I did contribute to that quite a bit. Look at those clouds. Double layer of clouds. You can see the cloud shadows on the ground there. Very realistic. And up high you got different clouds yet again. There's one of the positions that I hit. That's now dead. Basically going to go up here. It's going to be hard to find these tanks. Basically my goal now is to go 355 and what the heck? What happened there? Ah man, sorry guys, that's so frustrating, isn't it? So that's the end of that map. That was a bit of a letdown from the map because it kicked me the first time and then the map just finished then. Which I should have been on top of that. I knew it was going to end in, what did I say, 35 to 40 minutes? I think that was about 20-25 minutes. I guess I'll keep going. Visiting Australia for 6 weeks on Christmas Day. I'll be visiting Australia for 6 weeks on Christmas Day. Oh wow, that's pretty good. G'day Matt. G'day Manuel. 109. It's not a G6. That one was an F4. Yeah, I might take this opportunity to grab a cup of coffee. Guys, give yourself a couple of minutes break and we'll reconvene in about 4 or 5 minutes and go again. Going to be starting a new map with new targets. So and there's not too many players on the map, so I think I'll be lots of targets tending towards flying bombers. Now 50 players on Wings of Liberty, that's pretty good. We are going into the weekend, of course. Why on earth am I bothering to fly Tactical Air War with its like 8 players or something that it's got on it? The only justification is that I need to build my points up without continuously getting shot down. This is one counterintuitive benefit of having less players on the server. Alright, what targets have we got? Plenty of targets down here. We got three strong points. They're quite juicy targets, and we've got tanks to defend. More chance of enemy fighters there. Nothing here by the looks of it. I don't know. I think in tactical air war you're supposed to attack the airfields as well. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I think. Got a train here in the centre of the map. Got a train. Could fly straight east from one of those two and hit the train. That's a pretty close target as well. That's close to those. Those close to those. And can't take off from there, and there's some tanks there. I might just might just see if I can hit that train. Don't need hardly any fuel. I'll take 26%. Guns to 500 metres for ground attack. Armour. 2 500s plus 4 50s. Uh, 2-second delay. I didn't look at what the temperature was. 27 degrees. That's all good. Alright, ready to go. As long as they don't kick me out for some small reason, like the teams are unbalanced or something. I better finish drinking the cup of coffee that I have sitting in front of me instead of going and grabbing a new one. Make a note of the start time. It looks to have started at about 20 past 7. That's got to be in the morning. It's not in the morning, it's in the PM, 1920. 1920, 2020, 2120. So the map finishes at 9:20 PM. And when that happens, which is in 2 hours' time, it's going to be thoroughly dark. I think I'll just fly maybe just this one mission, maybe one more maximum, and then I'll retire from tactical air war for some time, and either take a break or look at combat box and see if I can fly Spitfire Mark 9 there. So I'm intending to try and fly the Spitfire Mark 9 on combat box. I say try because sometimes I can't get on the weekend because it hits capacity, or there's not enough players on combat box to make it worthwhile. To keep in mind which is the longest runway. I do want to take off on the longest runway. I had real hassle trying to take off before. Right, here's a tip. This is one way that you can find out if you're on the long runway or not, because obviously you can't tell just by looking. I'm headed 274, that's roughly west. I look at the map, which one am I on at the moment? I think one of these, right? Which one? I think this one. So I'm on this one and I'm facing west, which means I can automatically see I'm here. I must be here because I'm facing west. So I'm at the threshold here of the shortest runway. So I'm going to do a 360 and whip about and then face here. When I'm facing the threshold, the longest runway, it looks like it's about just off to the left of north. It's probably about 350. I should be at about 350, maybe 345. So that's what I'll do now. Said I'd be facing about 350, and indeed there's 345, so that's the one that I want. Do I need flaps for this? Yeah, probably. Put down 10, I think. Go 15. We'll go 15 flap. Right, let's go east, let's hit that train. Made a difference using the longest runway. It didn't seem like a very long runway. Even though it's the longest, it was still a pretty short runway when you're trying to take off with armour on the engines, armour behind, armour in front, and carrying heaps of payload and some significant fuel. Just so that I'm a bit more accurate, I'm going to fly back towards the line, the east line from the runway, from the airfield to the train. Because I had an extended takeoff there, just to build up speed. It's kind of the early bird gets the worm. This is the beginning of a new map. You want to really be pretty fast about getting to the target first. You want to be the one to hit the target first, and also you want to beat the enemy to the target. You don't want to give them time to set up position a couple of kilometres above the target. Alright, so there's that, and now I'm turning east. Speed's pretty good, it's about 300. Gonna sort of climb a bit. Finally, we've got continuous mode, roughly going east. We'll check out the map soon. Should really try and get up to the clouds. We're gonna be at the train soon, so we've got a creek there that terminates, and a bunch of other stuff. Alright, there's where I took off. I sort of went out here a bit and I've come back, and now I'm flying along here. Just about to come level with the end of the creek, so I'm about here, and I'm going to keep going east to that train there. So actually from the end of here I want to go 100 degrees maybe, 100 degrees. So I'll keep climbing, and I'll do a shallow cruise climb, and I'll go 100 degrees. Enemy plane near 7216. No problemo, it's miles away. I can see a pretty distinctive double runway up ahead to the left. That's obviously that there. So I've got to be about here, going this way. Some towns, another runway. Obviously there's the south end of Stalingrad, there's the big river. The train is just before the river. Try and strike with the direction of the train track, so I'm not going perpendicular to it, but I'm going along it. So I can hopefully wipe out the entire train in one go. That's the aim anyway. Set up the bombs now, I think. I'll start off with an underwing single. There's 4 under the wings, and then there's 2 big ones under the fuselage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have to press B 6 times. Climbing, we're doing just under 300. The lowest I want my speed really in this climb is 250. I can see the big river. Still doing about 100 degrees. I think I can see the train track to the right of the crosshair. There's some giant structure there. It's either a road or a river, like a canal, or a train track. I think it's a train track. And I don't want to jump the gun, but I think I can see the train station. It's kind of like a murky, hazy area. It seems to be, it's got some black smoke or something. Could be wrong. I've got a square-shaped piece of forest there. What is that? And another one there too, bigger. There's the big square-shaped piece of forest. There's the other one that I was seeing. Yeah, I'm spotting the train already. I have enough altitude to pull this off. 900 meters. It's not quite enough, but it's going to have to do. Where the heck is the train? I mean, I can see the train station, but where's the train itself? It's a conundrum. Do I hit the train station or do I hit the railway? It's firing at me. Holy crap, it's firing at me already. Yeah, I can see the train there. Alright. He's firing away, he's firing away. Oh shit, shit, shit! Dive, dive, dive! Ah, no! That was my own fault. That's the end of my tactical air war aspirations for the next 20 hours. Oh, I'm alive! I'm alive! Let's see if I can see what damage I did. I'm alive, but it ain't good. I'm gonna have a heck of a headache. Gonna have to walk back. Suppose I could catch the train back, huh? I can't even see it. Where is it? Where the heck is it? Is that it? Where is it? What about the gunner? Hey, gunner's alright. Where's me canopy? I think that's the train there. No, that's Stalingrad. That's the grain silo, the grain elevator. So the train should be... The reason why I can't see it is it's behind the hill. Over there. I could literally park here for the next however long and... About that, eh? I don't think I've ever seen that kind of external view before. So I can... How about that? Got a pretty limited useful arc. I could... Hey, don't... Back in the cockpit. Just need a PE2 or a yak or something to come flying over. Oh well, let's call it a day on this one. Yeah, my assessment as I was coming in was correct. I think, especially when I'm attacking a target that is fresh, it hasn't been hit before, so it's going to be full of AAA. I need to be higher than 1,000 meters. One vehicle. Definitely need to be higher than 1,000 meters. I could... Let me just check my stats. I'm going to be back in 30 seconds, guys. Bear with me. I'm back to 0 out of 100 experience points, and there's no time penalty visible, so that means I can go again. Got to decide what aircraft to use. The teams are also really out of whack. Germany 18, Soviet Union 9. There's a chance the game will kick me on the basis that it's unbalanced. I would take the JU87, but it's going to take 10 years to climb up to altitude, kind of thing. Maybe I should though. I've got 2 F2s. I don't think I've got an F4 left. I've got a Mackie left. I'm going to take the 87. So it's a short distance. I'll climb up to altitude. I'll take 30% fuel. I'll take 3 250s instead of 1 1000. I won't take any extra armour. I won't take... Two-second delay. Yeah, that's about right. Alright, risky mission. Right, I know where the longest runway is now. That's something. I think I do. Holy crap. I think I'm taking off from here, but it's totally blacked out. The longest one faces 350. Right, now the long climb out begins. This is going to be a long climbing session. The goal is, of course, not to get shot down, to keep navigating and not to burn out the engine or the propeller. One downside to the 87 is it climbs so slowly. How high do I need to be? Well, of course, higher than I was last time. Last time I was in a fast aircraft and I was at 1,000 metres and it wasn't enough. This one you want to be at least 2,000. I'm going to say you want 3,000 and just to come straight down. And to drop from about 600 metres above the target so you don't get too close to the AAA. This is very challenging. This is going to test my abilities a great deal. As you saw on the previous couple of missions, I had some successes with the 110. I also had the initial flight was with an 88 and there was a failure with that. I came in low and slow, got shot by the AAA. Obviously in the previous flight, again low and slow, got shot by the AAA. No, I crashed into a tree trying to avoid the AAA. It was either that or get hit by the AAA basically. I did manage to loose off one bomb before I hit the deck, but I think it only damaged one vehicle only. What's the altitude? What's the temperature? Temperature's bloody high. At 800 metres, still got a long way to go. Yeah, it's like most bombers, they're valid concepts provided that they have pretty much total air superiority. That goes for any bomber on any side. As soon as it loses air superiority and it's trying to get through an airspace that's controlled by the enemy, it becomes very vulnerable. Almost at 1,100. The B-17 formations were pretty formidable. They had so many 50 calibers that they could bring to bear on an attacker. But even so, they had tremendous support from fighter planes. They always had fighter planes, pretty much always had fighter planes supporting them, and usually by the hundreds. $1,300. Getting closer to that cloud base. The engine is very hot, 100 degrees. Just temporarily level out and look at where we are. The train is there, I think. Consult the map. Yep. 1,400 meters. 2,000 meters is minimum, I think. I don't want to climb higher than I need to. Will I even get to 2,000 by the time I get to the target? I'm just hitting 1,500 meters as we speak. Do I want to go higher than the cloud base? I think I might actually, just purely to get a run up as I start diving. It's all about the dive speed, it's not really about the accuracy of the attack. Usually I try and restrain my attack by putting out brakes, but in something like this situation, I don't want to brake, I just want to go as fast as I possibly can. Probably be slightly safer in the clouds as well from attackers. So what's the plan? The plan is just to get down there, press B at least 3 times when I'm about more than 600 meters above the target, and then get the heck out of there. Ideally I should turn around and go west on the dive out. And there's the target there. So guys, flying the Stuka, I've stuffed up the last flights. I've rarely done a successful flight in this aircraft. I did it like once out of 5 times. There's the target there, I believe. Just there, just there. Oh no, he's starting to shoot. I think I better do like a circling descent, if that makes sense. Keeping an eye on the speed, it needs to be high, almost at 400 kilometers an hour now. Shit, that flak, I tell you what, it's on. Hit him good and proper. He's still shooting at me though. Give it some rudder. Give it some rudder. And down we go. Got hit too. And some left rudder. Try and snake out of it. Always got to be changing your heading and your direction and your altitude when you're getting attacked by that kind of flak. Well, that was a success. At least so far. Now I want to be going about 270. Hopefully there's no flak or anything in this village. Continuous mode. Temperature's high, but it's okay. Hitting the wing. Hitting that wing. Wonder how the gunner's going. He didn't fire at all. That's good. Didn't give away the position. And did I carry extra armour? I can't remember. Perhaps not. So it's basically west to get back. Dive brakes for pulling up. Ah, yes, of course, yeah. I think that's applicable. I think the proper way to fly one of these is to go up to 5,000 meters and like directly above the target at 5,000 meters and dive directly on it with the brakes from there straight down, and then exit in the direction of the home base. Whereas what I was doing, rather than being at 5,000 meters, what was I at? I think I had made it to 2,000. All I know is I got just above the cloud base. I'm assuming that's around the 2,000 mark. So pretty low. And as I was coming down in that shallow circular descent, I looked at my speed when I started that descent, and I'd been in it for only about 10 seconds, and it was pretty low. It was about 400 kilometers an hour. Actually, I thought I was finished as I came into the final turn, and that AAA came up at me. I thought, damn, I'm a goner, but somehow not. Temperatures are reducing a bit. Well, that was pretty effective. It's just the climb out is so slow and ponderous. That was taking off with 30% fuel. Imagine trying to climb out with 100% fuel. And I had 750 kilograms. I had 3 times 250. You can take 1 times 1,000. In theory, you can take more weight than you can lift to get off the runway with the runways that are available at the temperature that we're flying at. You can take a 1,000 kilogram and you can take 100% fuel. Plus all the ammo for the forward facing and the rear guns and everything. So there's the start of our terminating creek or river right here. So I'll just follow that into the base and I'll just make a landing straight ahead, I think. Notice the base icon has changed condition and colour and everything now. It's no longer the pale blue, it's now the darker blue again, which means that it's viable. It means it's occupied. I think that's what it means. I know that's what it means. I don't know what the pale blue means. It seems to change condition depending on how the front line is looking, depending on the progress of the battle, which side is taking which side is advancing and which side's retreating and that sort of thing. One vehicle, two heavy weapons, times 2.5 successful return, 20 points. Cool. So you reckon take off and circle around, do a couple of circuits around the field, like climbing circuits, and then depart when you've got some altitude above the field. That's certainly an option. "16 players versus 12 players, so there's quite a few more players on the map now. What to do? I think I'll go back to the target with a F2. Yeah, on tour, yeah. Alright, so F2, automatic mixture, automatic propeller pitch, automatic radiator. Getting darker and darker. This map finishes at map time 9:20 p.m. Currently 8:15. Yeah, carrying a 250. May as well, because I'm going to go back to the train. There's not too many enemies in the air at the moment. There's 12, so I'm more useful as a bomber than a fighter. No worries. Keep in mind this was going to be my last flight, so I may do another one, but this was going to be the last flight. And I'm going to come back later on and try Combat Box and see if I can fly a Spitfire Mark 9. So I'm going to use the longer runway, and I'm thinking to myself, do I need to use any flap for this takeoff? And I think I don't. I think I can just brute force it. The plane's got so much power, but I think I might put down, I don't know, 5 or 10 degrees. Degrees. That's a very minuscule amount of flap, but it should help for the takeoff. So there is still some flak at the train because it was shooting at me as I was departing in the JU87. But there's a lot less there now than there was, I'm sure. I'm still going to go in at a pretty high altitude and pull out at a pretty high altitude, and generally speaking stay the heck away from the train station until I've pulverised it quite a bit. if this one hits home, it should be fairly well rendered useless in terms of its AAA capability, and then I'd pretty much be able to fly right over it without it shooting at me. So neutralising the AAA is one of the major things to do when you're going for ground targets. I've got red icons there, that means the gear's up, the speed, we're at 800 metres, the speed's 220. Temperature looks pretty good, although that manages itself. I've got 60% fuel. Did I put the flaps up? Yep, I sure did. There's the end of the river, so we're on track. Probably go up to the cloud base and just stay just below it. There's 1,000 metres. You guys, I've also been lately experimenting with some live streams of DCS flying the F-86 Sabre jet and the F-18. There's 1,200 metres. So far, my challenges with the multiplayer there is that a lot of the time the most popular servers, their ping, they set a ping that they consider over limit. I think each server can set it whatever they want. The most popular ones that have the most players, they're the ones you want to go on. They often have their ping icon in red, which indicates that it's over the limit, so you can't join. So there's that. So I'm blocked from those ones. I try and fly on the Cold War server, but there's hardly anybody on there. Usually there's no one on there, at least at the times that I've looked at it. So there's that. I've tried, and then there's some servers that have a lot of players on there, like they have maybe 20 players on there. And I'm getting familiar with the acronym PvE, which is like person versus, I think like in multiplayer it's PvM as well, person versus monster. And PvE, I keep thinking electronic, but it's basically person versus AI. And so you got servers that are person versus AI that have got like 15, 20 players on them. So essentially it's you and everyone else versus the AI, which kind of sucks. So I tried one of those once and I got shot down by an AI MiG-21 when I was flying a Sabre, and that sucked big time. So I'm looking to just do PvP, person versus person combat only, and I really want to do the Cold War stuff, the Sabre versus the MiG-15. That'd be so awesome to actually get proper big dogfights, or even one-on-one person versus person dogfights in Sabres and MiG-15s, or even Sabres and MiG-21s or 23s or whatever they've got. That would be fully sick. Hey, the train is gone. The train's gone. The train icon's gone. So either me and others have destroyed it. So I'll have to divert to another target. There's some tanks up there. There's those there probably. I must have hit it hard with the 87. There's a factory all the way out there. It's a bit of a hike though, with 60% fuel to get back. I might go south right now, down to those. It's getting darker and darker and darker. Also have enemy airfield in the area. I assume that might well be it there. Or maybe that one. Yeah, I think it's that. Alright, good. I know where I am. I'm just near that. Heading south, past those, down to these three target town there. Railway line. Target. Alright, that's a plan, although the light is disappearing fast. Look at that sun setting in the distance there. How on earth is anyone going to operate when it's 9 PM on this map? We've got a town and a lake there, and a river. There's a lake, there's a town, there's a river. Should have that on that side. Yeah, there it is there. Yeah, I've got a few points now that I should try and lock in. I'll hit this target, and unless I get into some air combat. What is the time though? 8:30. As soon as the sun is looking like it's more than half of it's below the horizon at this altitude, because when you go lower it gets darker, then I'll definitely RTB. So I've got some light to return with. So I've seen that and that. Should have that town there. And some other stuff. Got to watch out for that. There's that town, there's that airfield, and I can see an aircraft down there. That's interesting, isn't it? That's really interesting. He's very far away. I'm tempted to take him on though. Maybe I should. What I might do, it's going to be hard to do this, but yeah, what I might do, divert towards his airfield a bit and stay on the left hand side of him because he's going to the right. Yeah, I still got him just. Let's see if I can lock on, to use a jet term. Lost him. It's all about how the sun shines. Got to keep my altitude, of course. Don't want to get too close to his airfield. Totally lost him now. Whoa, that change of way. There he is. I'll keep my speed just at the top of continuous. Not really going to try and chase him or anything, I'm just going to keep visual contact as long as I can. I think I can see another aircraft down there that's heading the opposite way. No, it's just a feature of the ground. So as long as the sun keeps shining on him, I've got him. Kind of thing. There he is there. Got to be one of the enemies because he's coming out of their airfield. It's possible that I'm flying into a AAA trap, that's the other thing. Should perhaps increase my speed and finish him off. I think I've got some ridiculous time, like 15 minutes at 85%, so that's what I'll do. Even though I'm carrying the bomb, it's going to slow me down. Heading basically south now. Oh shit, there's one of the targets right there. This changes things, I think. It's an airfield. Do I want to lose sight of my plane though? Alright, I've got it. I'll hit the airfield, then I'll hit the plane. Haha. We've got some bunkers and a fuel depot. It's not a fuel depot, it's a beacon or something. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Now then, where the heck is my target? He's just disappeared. There he is, I got him still. I lost quite a bit of altitude doing that. He's climbing now. What is he up to? And now he's diving. Just got to take it nice and easy. He's diving. He's right down there near the... Oh shit, there's one of their positions. I can't go anywhere near that. I'll probably lose him from that, but yeah. Where? Now, of course, all that shit is coming up, and that's going to cause him to freak out and go, what's going on? That AAA is so far away. Hey, it's actually shooting at one of our aircraft though. Amazing. Alright, so where's my buddy? I've just got to keep an eye out for him, as in the target that I was following, without getting hit by any one of their defensive positions. Oh, that sun is going down, and I'm almost at the cloud base. Yeah, tough, very tough. What to do, huh? There's my friend there. He thinks that I'm an enemy. Don't shoot at me. Don't shoot at me. Don't shoot at me. Good. You want to see where an enemy is? I'll show you where an enemy is. There's that. Let's dive down and let's see if we can spot my initial target. There, I got something. Look at that. It's probably a 109, huh? But let's see. He's moving fast. He's going away from me. Just stick with him. Try and cut him off before he gets to the strong point, so he can't fly over it. And what do we got here? Some other stuff going on. What is that, do you reckon? It looks a lot like a 109, you know. Yeah, I'm going to say that's a 109, damn it. Might have to RTB, this is fairly difficult. I've lost the bomb, that's one thing. I doubt that I hit anything vital. It looked like that airfield was empty. I'm going to cut the power a bit to continuous mode very soon. Alright, behind that tree is the trees. There's one of their strong points. Fairly close by. Hopefully it doesn't shoot at me. Yeah, looking like this you can't see anything. Very difficult. But if someone's behind me and they're doing the same as me, they'll be able to see me against the silhouette. Oh no, they won't actually. I'll have the benefit if I turn around, but I'll be able to see them against the sun. Nothing there. Right, there's continuous mode. Alright, let's RTB. I'm going into a hill here, so I'm going to have to climb soon. Going roughly west. And remember, I'm going slow now. I've turned my power back to continuous. It's a pity, but the only aircraft I've seen up close around here have been 109 and other aircraft that were getting shot at by the ground installation, which means also Axis aircraft. I gave it a shot though. So I took off with a 250 kg, went to the train, realised the train was no longer there, as in it's destroyed, and mostly thanks to me. And I lost a 110 previously taken out that train, so it was costly. And then diverted south. I was about to hit one of those strong points with the 250, and then I saw an enemy plane leaving their airfield heading towards the strong points. I tracked it, and then just as I was about to pounce, pretty much, I realised I was coming onto a strong point. If I didn't change my course, I was going to go right over the top of it and get shot down anyway by its AAA. No more flak in the sky now. Let's consult the map. That was the airfield where I dropped and maybe hit something, maybe not. Looks like I want to be going, it's hard to say, 300, either 300 to get there, or I could go 345. And I've got an armoured headrest there, which I almost never select on purpose. I must have forgotten to remove it unless it was not an option to remove it. That's true. Coming back alive on tour from anything is a job well done. That is true. Because you get back alive and you get the points, and then you live to fight another day. The tour server encourages carefulness. It's really very important on this server not to crash, not to end up behind enemy lines, bailing out or crashing, not to get killed. You can, especially if you've got enough points, but then if you keep that up, you quickly end up sort of getting demoted. You lose all your points, you lose access to all your aircraft, and you've got to wait 20 hours before you can get back on. Even before I could start up on tour just now, initially I had like a, 140-second delay that I had to wait or something. Tour is full of delays. It's like carrot and stick. So we got a river and a road facing 320. That's interesting. And I've got a big river up there. I think that must be the Don, possibly. I think I'm looking at this river here that seems to go about 320, and it goes right into one of our airfields, but it's abandoned. I don't know if I can land on it. And man, it is getting dark. Where the heck is the sun? I think the sun is, it's either behind the clouds or it's gone behind the horizon. What is the time? 20 minutes to 9. This map finishes at about 9, isn't it? Map finishes at 20 past 9. So that's the thing, it'll be dark in 10 minutes and then the map's got until 20 past 9 to go. Enemy defence position was attacked in 1723, which is just behind me right there. I ain't going back now. Too dark. There's just nothing back there. Need a radar with a night fighter. Need a mosquito with a radar. Need a I don't know, need some kind of an exotic night fighter So I'm headed 325, I'm following this river onto another river, and yet another. You know what, I assume it's this one, which is more like 280, but actually it could easily be this one, which is more like 350. Or this one here. It's this one. I recognise this point here. Okay, I've confirmed where I am. Am I where I thought I was? I thought I was here, but actually I'm here. I know I am because I can see this termination here. So you got like a river that joins mine that runs up there and keeps going, but then it's got a termination that goes off behind the wing there in a Y, making a Y shape. What have I got up here? There's a pretty major river up here. So I've got a few options from here. Probably the best thing to do would be to get to the big river and then just keep going north and then get to those at Kalash. In fact, from here I can pretty much go north now. Look at that, there's an airfield right there. I don't want to land on it though because it's empty. Does that help? I don't think that's necessary, is it? You'd only really turn that on if you needed to. Do something like look at your map or light up a cigar or something. Which airfield am I seeing? It must be that one. But it seems more like I'm looking at that one. Anyways, we're going north. There's the big river. There's a pretty decent runway there with a kind of an angular shape. Over limit? What the heck does that mean? That means there's too many people there or something? Over limit, over defend, I don't know what that over limit BS is. I'm over the Kalash airfield right there, I believe. I can see someone's got their lights. I can see the flame there. I'm going to land. Over limit. Yet another rule of tactical air war that I'm not familiar with. I mean, yes, I can divert, but I don't want to. Let's have a good look and let's suss everything out. being at night time, actually, I can think of a use for this one. 2.5 successful landing. So even though it said over limit successful landing, so I don't think you can use the what's it called, the U2VS or something, like the biplane, but there's the night witches kind of thing. You could use the biplane at night time for that kind of mission. That might be interesting. Well, I'm not going to keep going flying at night time. I can fly at night. I can probably navigate at night, but I sure as heck can't dogfight at night time unless I've got a radar, which I don't. The flak, I believe, can still see in low light conditions. So I'm going to end the stream here. It's been pretty awesome. I think I've managed to preserve my points that I came in with and maybe even build them up. I've probably got at least 40 out of 100 points. What's the big takeaway point? The big takeaway point is when attacking with a bomber, when attacking with a tactical bomber, not a heavy bomber. Heavy bombers, you got to really use level bombing from a high altitude. When attacking with a tactical bomber like a Bf110, 1,000 meters is too low. Got to come in higher. I'm not an expert at it yet, but I think at least 2,000 meters and a pretty high speed. 2,000 meters building up to, like, 5, 6, 700 kilometers an hour, and then getting the heck out of there and not going right up to the target, dropping from about 600 meters above, so it's more chance of missing. But if you take a bigger payload than a smaller one, you'll get some splash damage on something at least. Well, guys, after all, it's the weekend, so that means the servers should be pretty busy, and I'm going to take a bit of a break now, and I'm going to come back and fly something somewhere else, probably a Spitfire Mark 9 on Combat Box, but we'll see. This has been a combat mission on the Froggy Frog 9000 channel. You can support by smashing the like button, subscribing, checking out my website, which is froggyfrog9000.com. Check out my merch, etc. And you can subscribe to the channel and become a member on YouTube, and you can also support the channel on Patreon. Have a consideration of those things. I'll be back at some point later on today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and hopefully catch you for the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.